Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Right off the top of our show, we're going to check in with weather. We've seen quite a bit of activity around the Tennessee Valley earlier today, and we'll start with a live look outside. This is off of Governor's, and you could see traffic moving through, sun setting. A little bit of cloud is kind of a remnant of what we saw earlier, just a little bit, because it was raining. It was storming quite a bit. Let's bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, we did see some storm activity this afternoon, even some severe warnings.
Yeah, a couple of hours ago, we had an impressive thunderstorm push its way through the Huntsville metro area. We had about 5 to 10 minutes of some very heavy rain, some gusty winds, even a little bit of hail. That activity really beginning to simmer down. It really has begun to simmer down over the last 15 or 20 minutes. Now, at this point, we're just talking about a couple of light showers, maybe some moderate shower activity across different portions of the Tennessee Valley. This activity down into southern Franklin County, southern Lawrence County, a little bit of light rain. Morgan County, down into Coleman County, we're talking about a little bit of light rain. That was an impressive thunderstorm about 20 minutes ago. And then we're still talking about a little bit of rain across DeKalb County, just to the south of Fort Payne. That activity really beginning to push its way into Cherokee County. Now, this activity has weakened the most over the last 15 or 20 minutes. This storm here, just south of DeKalb County, south of Fort Payne, it did have a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it about 20 minutes ago, but then that was allowed to expire early. We have seen some hail across the Tennessee Valley through the course of the afternoon. Now the hail has definitely been on the smaller end of the spectrum, but we have had hail nonetheless. Those that have seen rain have seen temperatures drop across the Tennessee Valley. Don't worry though, if you like the warm weather, they're going to come back up as we head into your Thursday. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
And an update to a story we told you about yesterday. This afternoon, the Huntsville Police Department announced a suspect in a shooting that left one person dead and injured another on Benford Drive. Warrants have been filed for Tyshawn Hampton, pictured here, on charges of murder and first-degree assault in connection with that shooting. The victim, named Caleb Martin of Decatur, was pronounced dead at the scene. Huntsville Police Department is actively searching for Hampton and asks that if you know where he's located, to contact them at 256-722-7100. This comes as leaders from the LR Patton community look to make the area safer.
Our next steps will probably be to try to eliminate people from just hanging out, whether that be at night or during the day in our neighborhoods. Because what we're seeing is that when people have idle times hanging out in our neighborhoods, whether it be at night or during the day, we're having problems.
The Huntsville Housing Authority also said in a statement, quote, HHA urges all residents to continue reporting safety concerns and reminds the community that a curfew is in place to help protect residents. Security measures in coordination with law enforcement are under review, end quote. The Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals upheld the murder conviction of a Coleman man. William Maddox was found guilty last year in Coleman County and sentenced to 99 years in prison for shooting and killing his stepfather. In a statement, Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall thanked his staff and Coleman County DA Champ Crocker for their work to ensure the conviction was upheld. A killing man facing multiple charges after a drug bust in Lauderdale County this morning. Bradley Bruce is facing 3 charges after a search warrant by the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office Drug Task Force this morning, and with the help from the Special Operations Team. Inside the home, investigators say they found 5 grams of fentanyl along with 4 grams of methamphetamine. Bruce is charged with trafficking in fentanyl, unlawful possession of a controlled substance, and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. A Huntsville man is behind bars after he's accused of breaking into cars in South Huntsville this morning. Around 4 a.m. this morning, officers responded to reports of a man entering cars on the 4000 block of Seawall Drive. Shortly after responding, officers say they found a man exiting a car matching the description given by residents and tried to leave before being captured. Jimmy Norman faces 3 charges of unlawful breaking and entering a vehicle and is held at the Madison County Jail. Huntsville International Airport turned into the site of a mock disaster today. Per FAA regulations, every 3 years, airports must hold a full-scale emergency exercise. It's a chance for firefighters, police, and medical crews to train together and test how well they respond to a major crisis. As you can see, dozens of community volunteers help bring the scenario to life, making the drill as realistic as possible for the first responders taking part.
The drill simulated a fiery crash of a passenger jet on the east runway. More than 80 volunteers posed as victims, complete with moulage or mock injuries ranging from bruises to broken bones. Firefighters rushed in to put out flames, while police and medical teams sorted patients by severity and practice assessing injuries.
Rarely do all of our different players and participants get to come together in an exercise of this size and work together as a team. So really the communication, the collaboration piece between different agencies, it's a great opportunity for us to practice that. So we'll have a number of patients being transported to the hospital so that they can practice their ability to manage a large influx of patients at one time.
These drills bring firefighters, police, and medical crews to work side by side, testing how well they communicate and work under pressure. The goal is to find gaps and make improvements now before a real emergency ever happens.
So full-scale exercises like this are very important. Number one is as you're working through what I like to call the nuts and bolts of things that you train individually inside your own departments, you're able to bring that together and then incorporate that into a mutual aid scenario like this with other divisions. So when we meet at a command post, we're able to do face-to-face communications, and then we're able to communicate with each of our divisions or each of our departments through radio communications at that point.
After the drill, agencies gathered to review what worked and what didn't. Leaders say finding weaknesses now means first responders will be faster and better prepared when a real disaster strikes. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Preparation is key, the airport says. While the drill may look alarming, it's the best way to ensure crews are ready for any crisis. We do have some Fox 54 traffic impact alerts for you. Hobbs Island Road from Bill Matthews Road to Joe Turner Road is closing at 8 a.m. tomorrow for surface line work. The closure is expected to last between 4 and 6 hours, and you're asked to avoid this area if possible. If you do need to drive through, watch out for workers and do be prepared for shifting traffic patterns. And Madison residents who often use County Line Road should prepare to use an alternative route tomorrow night. County Line Road will be closed from 5 to 6:30 p.m. tomorrow from Browns Ferry Road to Mill Road for the James Clemens Homecoming Parade. City of Madison asks you to use detours and plan ahead to make sure you're prepared for the extra travel time. Residents in Southeast Madison County can expect not to have water access on Friday morning due to system improvements by the Madison County Water Department. Starting at 8 a.m. Friday, residents on Old Gurley Road from Tompkins Lane to 760 Old Gurley Road and on Highway 72 East from the 2064 to 2040 block will be impacted by temporary water outage. The Water Department expects work to be complete and service restored by 2 p.m. Friday afternoon. Today at the Huntsville City Schools Center of Technology, Toyota Alabama made a major donation to the Huntsville City school system. At an event with city leaders, the automotive manufacturer announced that they would be donating $4.2 million to the school system. The move, a part of bringing more STEM-based education to the classroom and making sure the donations would fill the gaps for the school system.
We met with Dr. Sutton, we met with his team, we tried to figure out what do they really need. So we tried to look, one of the big things we come up was some of these wraparound services they didn't have. Some of these STEM items, we want STEM to be pushed, but we need to push it at the lower side. So we're trying to get to elementary schools, get them involved. So we're going to be at 6 different elementary schools, 2 different middle schools, just pushing the STEM, getting that curriculum going.
This is the second donation to Huntsville City Schools from Toyota following a previous $6.7 million commitment. Huntsville in full swing for Music Month, and the city's music office is using this chance to celebrate the 10th anniversary of a newer Huntsville music hub. Starting tomorrow night and happening till Saturday, a decade of 805 weekend will be a 3-day music fest celebrating Campus 805. From 90s country night to hip-hop headliners, the festival looks to have a little something for everyone.
Tomorrow, 8:05 after 5 on the Butler Green. Friday night, we also are continuing live music with the Butler Green from 5 to 9. And then on Saturday, we're doing it all day long. Starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, we're going to have live music, activities for all ages, food, drinks in the event center. And then at 5 o'clock, we start music again on the Butler Green. We are so excited to partner with the City of Huntsville Music Office, DHI, our tenants and vendors as we celebrate 10 wonderful years at Campus 805, and we're looking forward to 10 more.
Congrats. Well, for a full list of artists and when they perform, you can look it up. Go to fox54.com. Local realtors can help to identify the signs of domestic violence that friends, family, and coworkers might miss. Find out how coming up. And we're learning the risk of heart attacks have increased for younger people. We find out what could be the cause this Wellness Wednesday.
Don't forget a what?
Story with the realtors.
Yeah. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Cool, thanks.
Who can spot domestic abuse? Maybe someone's family, a teacher or coworker, or even a friend. Now, think about realtors. They meet with couples directly and work with them for weeks to buy or sell a home. Realtors also go into the home and can often see the signs of abuse for themselves. So the Huntsville Area Association of Realtors got together to make the community aware of the signs of abuse in the home. Survivors say that can include damage to the home, one partner staying silent or being fearful, and a generally controlling atmosphere. Take a listen.
Realtors, they can be the main eyes in households when they go in and they see these unexpected holes in the walls. That may be a sign of domestic abuse. If a partner is scared to speak up or sign a document and they're looking at their companion, that could be a sign of domestic abuse. So they have eyes before anybody else when it comes to households.
Yes, survivor and realtor Jamila Ritchie says the resources to help out are widely available, but it takes courage to make that initial contact.
Use them when you're ready, because it takes a lot to get your courage up, because you've been through a traumatic situation and you feel unworthy, you feel not beautiful, you feel like nobody's going to believe me or want to hear my story. But to know that these people are out there with their arms stretched wide open and their hands ready for you, it's priceless.
Wow, Caleb, we were mentioning it earlier. It just makes sense for realtors to be trained on this. It's something I never would have thought.
Me neither, but they go inside the home, they see everything from, the state of things to how the couple react around one another, around the kids. It's a weeks-long process of buying or selling a home, so it really, they get the full scope of things, it seems like, from what I was able to gather today, at least.
Yeah, and the fact that they're trained on it. I know there's some people who have occupations where they're considered mandatory reporters, where they have to report. So I would imagine in their training, that's something that they were told.
I'm not sure about today exactly. I don't think that they are considered mandatory reporters exactly, but I'd have to do some more research on that and get back to you.
Yeah, well, it's good that they are at least getting that exposure and the knowledge of what to see, because they come across a lot, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Every type of home, every type of situation, because they sell them all,
Yes. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Thank y'all.
All right, coming up, researchers uncovering what's causing the increased risk of heart attacks in younger people, and it doesn't concern diet. We take a look this Wellness Wednesday. And Jordan, we've had some storms roll through. Any more in store?
Yeah, a lot of that activity is really beginning to simmer down across the Tennessee Valley, and from there, I think we're going to stay quiet. But then are we going to be quiet as we head into your Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening for Thursday Night Football? We'll discuss in just a couple of minutes.
Now, Wellness Wednesday on Fox 54 News, sponsored by Regenesis.
It's still considered relatively rare for a younger adult to have a heart attack, but past research suggests that while heart attack rates have declined in older adults, they've increased in those under the age of 40, especially among women. And a new study is revealing some potential hidden causes of that changing trend. This Wellness Wednesday, Mandy Gaither with Health Minute looks at the data and what one of the study's authors hopes people will take away from it.
In the U.S., it's the most common cause of heart attacks. Coronary artery disease causes the narrowing of arteries due to plaque buildup, restricting blood flow. But not all heart attacks are caused by blockages.
There are different types of heart attack and non-traditional heart attacks that can affect younger people.
Dr. Claire Raphael with Mayo Clinic is first author of a study that looks into why there's a concerning rise in heart attacks among young adults, especially younger women who don't necessarily have traditional risk factors like high cholesterol. She says 1 in 10 heart attacks in women under age 65 are caused by something called spontaneous coronary artery dissection, or SCAD.
The artery in the heart suddenly develops either a tear or blood forms around the outside of the artery, and that impedes the blood supply to the rest of the heart. So it causes a heart attack without having any cholesterol buildup.
Researchers say SCAD was nearly 6 times more common in women than men and typically affects younger and otherwise healthy women. Raphael says it can be triggered by something like intense exercise, but can also happen out of the blue. And she hopes this data brings awareness of more non-traditional causes of heart attack, even if more common causes aren't present, to prevent patients from being misdiagnosed.
Anyone can have a heart attack. It's not just older people or smokers. So if you have chest pain and you don't feel right, get it checked out.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Raphael says of the nearly 1,500 heart attack study, the second most common cause overall and the deadliest was heart attacks caused by stressors like anemia or an infection. Those attacks were associated with a 5-year mortality rate of 33%.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
And And we have a live look off of Keel Mountain. Very peaceful, very quiet. I don't see much of sun. It's kind of like hidden away in the corner. But we do see quite a bit of cloud cover, but no rain.
Yeah, no, a lot of the rain has begun to exit the Tennessee Valley. Some of us get to end the evening with a little bit of sunshine. Others are going to have to deal with some cloud cover. The rain was nice, though.
Yeah, and it as we mentioned before, it just came and went.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing about summertime thunderstorms is they're kind of a brief interruption.
I like that, a brief interruption.
And then they get on out of here about as quickly as they move in. Now, when they move in quickly like that, they typically pack a bit of a punch, so it really is an interruption to your afternoon, but then they get out about as quickly as they move in, and typically the sunshine returns, and usually the humidity tends to build in after those showers and thunderstorms, and we are talking about some more humid conditions across the Tennessee Valley, even in locations that didn't necessarily get any rain through the course of the afternoon. Live look out over in Florence this evening, a little bit of cloud cover over the Florence Harbor there at McFarland Park. Otherwise, temperatures sitting in the mid-80s. They haven't seen the rain that some of us have seen through the course of the afternoon, but it is still humid over in northwest Alabama. A little more humid today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Dew points sitting in the mid-upper 60s, right around 68 over in northwest Alabama. Those of us that have seen rain are talking about much cooler air. Look at that, 75 in Fort Payne, 79 in Albertville, 78 in Huntsville. We did see a little bit of rain move through the Huntsville metro area a couple of hours ago, one stronger thunderstorm even. Still holding on to 84 in Coleman and a pair of 87s for both Pulaski and Fayetteville up across southern Middle Tennessee. Much of the shower and thunderstorm activity that we've seen over the last couple of hours has since exited the Tennessee Valley, and really I don't foresee much in the way of any additional development through the rest of the evening. Like I said, some of these thunderstorms have packed a bit of a punch. One of those things we saw through the course of the afternoon was a little bit of hail. Now, the hail was definitely on the smaller end of the spectrum, dime or penny size hail, but we did have a little bit of hail nonetheless. This video came to us from Triana. If you have any photos or videos from this afternoon, you can text me those, please. 256-382-2692. Other opportunities for rain in the forecast. We're going to be dry on Thursday, small opportunity Friday, Saturday. Best chances for rain begin to build into the Tennessee Valley through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. By the time we get to next Wednesday, rain looks like it's going to be more of a certainty across the area. Here's Futurecast as we head into the lunch hour on Thursday. A mostly sunny sky, a little bit of cloud cover hanging out across the area. But again, it does look like we are going to be dry. Dry through the overnight and then early into your Friday morning. But then watch what happens as we head into Friday afternoon. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to attempt to push their way into northwest Alabama. And I do think our friends in Lauderdale, Colbert, or Franklin counties could see a couple of rogue showers through the later part of Friday afternoon, early into Friday evening. It's not going to be a prolonged or widespread issue, though. Off to the tropics we go. We're talking about Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Right now, Gabrielle has sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, and as of this time, looks like it's going to have absolutely no impact on the continental United States. Should continue to strengthen a little bit more into a Category 1 hurricane, but will stay off the east coast of the United States, continuing to hang out in the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe a little bit of patchy dense fog develops as we head into the overnight. Otherwise, temperatures dropping into the mid-60s. Got a low right around 65 degrees. When the kids get on the school bus tomorrow morning, 66 at 7, 71 by 8, 77 by 9, 81 degrees at 10 a.m. Have a good look at the next 7 days. 91 on Thursday, a pair of 90s both Friday and Saturday. Off to the upper 80s we go for the back half of the weekend, continuing to fall into the 80s Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now, that's not necessarily because fall air is going to move into the Tennessee Valley. The calendar says the first day of fall is next Monday, but it's going to get cooler next week because we're increasing the opportunities for rain.
We do have a recall alert. Sprout Organics is recalling one of its baby food pouches because they could be contaminated with elevated levels of lead. The recall affects 3.5-ounce pouches of Sprout Organic sweet potato, apple, and spinach. The product was sold mainly at Walgreens and some independent stores across the South between September and December of last year. No other Sprout Organics products are affected, and you can return the product to the store for a full refund. So far, no illnesses have been reported. Mo, what's going on with sports?
Well, Kanisha, despite being 2-1, Coach Sam Shade wants to see improvement in several areas, including his defense. We'll talk to the head coach of the Bulldogs next.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Hey, good evening, sports fans. The Alabama A&M Bulldogs are off to a 2-1 start, fresh off of a 2-point victory over Tennessee State at Nissan Stadium on Saturday. The victory marked the rebirth of an old rivalry against the Tigers, and it was the first non-SWAC FCS win for the Bulldogs since 2021. This week, Alabama A&M welcomes Lane College from the SIAC to the Hill. A&M is a heavy favorite, but the status of quarterback Quad Brown is uncertain due to an ankle injury. But enough about the offense. Coach Sam Shade, he's got to see more improvement from his defensive unit.
We just got to keep working. We've got to understand the importance of being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there and just doing your job as a defense because, you know, right now we were very fortunate to come out of that ball game with a win. And so we understand that we're working on putting together a complete game and we just hadn't gotten there yet.
The Bulldogs and Dragons kick off at 6 p.m. this Saturday on the Hill. The game streams live on SWAC TV. Alabama A&M last defeated Lane 51-13 in the 2023 Lewis Cruz Classic. Now, Coach Sam Shade's collegiate teammate at Alabama was Dabo Swinney. This week, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers is making headline for basically defending his team after a rough start. Clemson is currently 1-2 and unranked after being projected to be in the running for the college football playoffs. And you know how it goes when a team underperforms, people are calling for the job of the head coach. Well, Swinney had a ridiculous rant during his recent media session. We'll present that to you tonight in Sports at 9 on Fox 54.
Yes, also coming up tonight at 9, one young teen battling cancer has an army behind her, and she certainly will come tomorrow during the Austin High School homecoming parade. We tell you her story. And we have more from the training event as local realtors learn to spot the signs of domestic violence and how they could help. And a historic Huntsville quilt making its way back home finally, and we give you the details. We have all these stories and more coming up at 9. Before we let you go, a Texas company says it's a step closer to bringing back the dodo from extinction. The dodo bird has been extinct for about 400 years. Wednesday, Colossal Biosciences announced that it is using genetic engineering to try and create a living, breathing version copy of the bird. The company says it has the technology to successfully culture specialized cells from Nicobar pigeons. The dodo's closest living relative. They say it will take at least 5 to 7 years for the project to play out. Now, Mo, can you explain what a Nico pigeon? I know that